Hi friends. Okay, so this is the watercolor for this week. I'm going to explain more on the watercolor when we get to it, but the watercolor is going to be kind of the first part of this, and there's going to be a second part too. I'm going to show you guys how to do a bit of a May Day craft with it, because today when you're watching the video, so Friday, May 1st is May Day, and one of the traditions on May Day is to create a little basket and go and hang it on a neighbor or a friend or a loved one's door with flowers in it as kind of like a celebration that it's May, it's the beginning of summer. So we're gonna look at how to actually make one of those today out of the watercolor that you do. So we're gonna do the watercolor, and then I'm going to show you how to do the rest of it with a different piece of watercolor paper that I have that I've already done. And then you'll wait until yours dries to actually use yours, because it needs to be dry before you can do it. Okay, so we are going to do wet on wet today because we're going to be blending colors. And this is kind of like a couple weeks back when we did one where you kind of had the choice of how to, what colors to choose, how to blend the colors. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. If you would like to do something different, you can do that, because again, eventually this will be made into the basket that you can hang on somebody's door. So we're going to do wet on wet. So we're going to go ahead and make sure your brush is nice and cleaned from last time. Once you're sure it's cleaned, you can go ahead and dip it in the water and wet your page. I should have cleaned my paint board before I did this. I may end up with some of those colors on here, but that's okay. That is okay. If you would like to do the rainbow that we did last time for this, you can either do that from memory, or you can watch that other video again to remember how to do the rainbow if you would like to do that. Or you can just kind of make stuff up as you would like to go to. It's completely up to you as to how you want to paint this. Because remember, it's going to be the outside of that basket that I'm going to show you guys how to make. All right, I'm almost done. All right, once your paper is nice and wet, since we're doing wet on wet to blend here, you can go ahead and decide what color you are going to use. I don't think I'm going to do my entire page as like one base color. I think I'm going to kind of play around with it today. So I think I'm going to start with yellow. It's the lightest of the colors. And I'm just going to kind of start in the middle with the yellow. I'm not going to paint the whole page with it, just parts of it. If you would like to start with a different color, go for it. Just kind of keep in mind what the colors are going to blend out to be. So if you start with yellow as a base and you use red, or yeah, you use red, you're going to end up with orange. And then if you use blue, you're going to end up with green. And then if you start with blue, if you use yellow, it'll be green. Red, it will be purple. And then with red, if you use yellow, orange, blue, purple. I am going to clean my brush off and get a little blue, I think. I really like that green color that the blue and the yellow makes. I think I'm gonna do some of that on here. My yellow is not very pigmented right now. I need to add some more into it for next time, I think. Actually, my blue is not super pigmented either. I kind of need to take care of that, I think. Oof. All right, let's get some red and see if it's any better. I'll go up here with the red. Come down in here and make orange. Oh, my red's much better. Now the top part of my paper is already dry. Look at that. All right, I'll pull down into this yellow a little bit to make some orange. You guys can play around with this as much as you want. Remember, be very careful about mixing all three colors, because once you mix all three of them, you'll end up with brown. If you want brown, then by all means go for it, but I don't particularly want brown in mine, so I'm gonna get some more blue down here on the bottom. Whoops. I gotta be more careful, I'm splattering paint here. And then I think I'm gonna come in with red and make some purple down here, and then I'll be done. You guys can take as much time as you want with this. I sped through this kind of to get this down. But you can take as much time as you would like, because you can pause this video for as long as you want to pause it. I'm gonna get a little bit of red so I can get some purple, because I don't want watercolor painting without purple. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that. I ended up doing a rainbow and I didn't even really think about it. Oops. All right, well, there's my unintended rainbow. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my brush off because I don't want that paint to sit in it. And then I'm gonna set that to the side. I'm also gonna set my watercolor to the side so that I can get this other piece of paper and we can talk a little bit about how to make this basket, okay? So I'm using a piece of watercolor, actually I think it's from last week's that I did, it's a rainbow. And you want to start with the wrong side facing you, so the side that you don't want people to see, because this will be the outside of your basket that we're going to make. It's more of a cone shape, but it's a basket because it holds stuff. And then I have some yarn. You could use ribbon, you can use string, anything like that. I have two pieces. I've got a shorter piece for the handle and a longer piece to wrap around. And then I have a hole puncher. If you don't have this, you can just use a pencil or something to poke a hole through the paper. You don't need to have a hole punch. And then I've got a little bit of tape just to make it easier for this to stay together while we are trying to tape it together. All right, so what you're gonna do is you are going to start folding this so that you get kind of a cone shape. And you're gonna mess with it until you're pretty happy with the way the cone shape looks. Mine pretty easily went into a cone shape because I practiced this before the video, so it was already kind of in that shape. But you can see that it's much smaller down at the bottom than it is at the top. There's a little hole in the bottom here. That's not a big deal. If you want to close that hole completely, you can. If you're going to put anything in here that could potentially fall through that hole, you'll want to do that, but otherwise it's really not a big deal if it has a little bit of a hole. I'm going to use a little piece of tape to tape this so that it'll stay together while we're doing the rest of this. So let me get my tape over here. I'm going to take the tape off eventually because I just don't want tape to be on the end. But I mean, you can barely see it, so if you have to leave your tape, it's not a big deal. Okay, so now that we have taped that, you can see that our cone is staying together. All right. Okay, so I have two pieces of ribbon. I have a longer piece of ribbon and then I have a shorter piece of ribbon. So for the shorter piece of ribbon, I am going to make a handle here so that it can either be carried or it can be hung on a neighbor's door, okay? If you would like to finger knit this before you do it, you can. That actually would probably look really cool. I'm not going to do that on this video though because I don't want the video to get super long. But if you want to do that, go for it. Then I'm going to use the hole punch I have right here, and I'm going to punch two holes, one on either side here, so that I can put my ribbon through it. My holes are not super even, but that's okay. So I have one here. Oh, you can see it all the way through the other side. Then I have one here. And then I am simply going to put the ribbon through, or the yarn through this. Of course, if you have ribbon, that would be really pretty too, I guess. This is a pretty long piece, so I'm gonna tie it pretty long here. I'm gonna try to make a little bow with it just because I think that would be much cuter than just tying a knot. There we go. So there's a bow on that side. You might want to double knot the bow because it may pull out. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to thread it through the hole that I've made here. See? Well, then I am going to tie it. Here, and I'm going to create another little bow, which again, you might want to put a double knot in because it'll probably hold better. But now you can see we have a handle for our cute little basket that we've made. All right. Then I have this much longer piece of yarn here. So what I'm going to do, this is totally up to you guys. If you don't want to do this part, or you would rather use something else to decorate the outside of yours, then go for it. This is your artistic choice here. So the first thing I'm going to do is tie a knot here. Could tie a bow if you wanted to. I'm just going to do a knot. And then I am just going to wrap this around. No particular pattern. There, I'm going to, well, I don't have any scissors over here. I was going to say I was going to trim that, but I don't have scissors, so it's fine. We'll just wrap it up in this. I'm just kind of wrapping it, crisscrossing a little. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this little tail that I have here to tie off the end. Haha, that ended up working out, didn't it? Right. If your tail is a little longer than the one I left here, you can tie a bow with it. Mine's not quite long enough, but that's fine. I think it looks cute that way. And then you have all this here, so if you wanted to stick flowers or something on the outside, you could totally do that. I think I'm gonna leave my tape down here because I'm afraid if I take it off, it's gonna come undone. But you can see we've made a very cute little basket that can now be hung on a friend's door, or on a neighbor's door, or on a family member's door. I love this because it's a really sweet way to kind of spread that May Day cheer with some flowers. You can get flowers out of your backyard or out of the garden. If you have that, just make sure you ask first. Don't just go pulling flowers. And then you get to kind of do this cute little surprise for someone, and you don't have to see them. So in our time right now, when we're not really supposed to be interacting with people, you don't have to go and see them. You can just leave a nice little surprise for them. So the next time they come out of their door, they'll see it. So that is how you make a sweet little basket for a May Day surprise. All right, friends, if you have any questions, please let me know. Remember, you'll need to wait until your entire watercolor dries. I just didn't want to have to wait, so I went ahead and did it with that. Don't forget to clean up at the end because you want to make sure that you're taking care of all of your supplies. I already washed my brush, although I'll probably give it one more little wash in the sink to make sure it really is washed. But you'll want to make sure you close up your paints really well, clean up the area that you were in. Do not leave a mess. All right, friends, I will see you in our next video. Bye.